Alright, let's recap the last 2 lessons. 2 lessons ago, you learned how to solve a system of equations by graphing. And graphing is when you looked at 2 lines and you looked for their point of intersection, and the solution to the system is always a point. It's always an ordered pair. And so you looked for that point by putting it into y equals in the calculator and pressing second calc 5 enter, enter, enter. Okay, and then the last lesson you learned how to solve a system of equations by substitution. And substitution is where you looked for where one of the equations had a variable by itself, and you took that value that it is equal to and substituted it into the second equation. Alright, now today we're focusing on the last method of solving a system, and that method is what we call elimination. What does it mean to eliminate something? Eliminate means to get rid of. Eliminate in the elimination method for solving systems means that we need to get rid of a variable. So we need to eliminate a variable. In other words, we need it to cancel out. So let's practice eliminating things. So look at the section that says opposite coefficients. Okay, look at number 1. It says find the missing numbers that make the equation true. Okay, so what can we add to 3 to make it equal to 0? Hopefully you said -3. What can we add to a -2 to make it equal to 0? Hopefully you said a +2. What can we add to a -5x that can make it equal to 0? We can add a +5x, because -5x plus 5x will cancel out, meaning it's going to equal 0. Okay, you try number 4 and pause and then check and see if you got it right. For number 4, we should have gotten that y plus a -y is equal to 0. Number 5 gets a little more complicated. We are looking to find something that when multiplied by this 5x, and we add it to 5 times -2x, will equal 0. So what can we fill in that blank that will make this equation true? That will make the whole left side equal 0. Well, first, what is 5 times -2x? 5 times -2x is a -10x. Okay, so we're trying to find something that will be the opposite of -10x. So we want it to be a +10x. So what can we multiply by +5x to get this +10x? We should multiply it by +2. Now pause and try number 6 on your own. Alright, so 3 times 5y is +15y. Well, in order for that to equal 0, we would have to subtract 15y. Okay, so what do we need to do to this +3y to make it 15y? We would have to multiply it by a -5. Number 7 says when combining like terms, in other words, when we're adding and subtracting terms, what must the terms look like to equal 0? In other words, what do they need to look like to cancel out? They need to look like opposites. In other words, you have one that is positive and one that is negative. And these must be like terms. In other words, when I'm talking about one positive, one negative, you need to have either one positive x term and one negative x term, or one positive y term and one negative y term.